Hey all, welcome to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. I'm Kurt, this is Trenton, and this is kind of one of those videos that is Trenton driven. This is a rye whiskey from Elijah Craig, and it's relatively a new product. It's the Toasted Rye. Now, I will say, this is just me, Trenton can talk for himself. I'm not a massive fan of the Elijah Craig Toasted Bourbon itself.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Trent asked me to grab my bottle and bring it out, and I had one, and I gave it away. I didn't even keep it.
Oh, it wasn't a drain pour then. That's good.
Oh no, I don't do that. I give them away or whatever.
Yeah,
It's just not my favorite. There's so many toasted bourbons out there that were much better than the Elijah Craig Toasted Bourbon, in my humble opinion, that I didn't keep the bottle.
Yeah.
But I am honestly looking forward to this one here, and in hopes it might be pretty good.
When I first saw, and again, I think this was a Coming Whiskey post on their Instagram. Mm-hmm. When I saw this was coming out, I was floored when I first saw it, and then afterwards I was like, well, the toasted bourbon from Elijah Craig really didn't rank too high up.
For you either then?
No, I wasn't a huge fan of it, honestly.
Okay.
And I bought it, I think it had just come out recently, and I bought my toasted bourbon for like $79.99 or something.
Oh, wow.
It was not cheap. I think now they're closer to $60, maybe a little bit less. But from what I've heard from other folks, they don't really have much critical acclaim for being that solid. Now, I will say, before we even get into this, I would love to see Elijah Craig A125 barrel proof, the toast, or similar to how they do the barrel proof bourbons. I would love to see that with a rye. I'll just say that now.
Okay.
But
yeah,
we will see. This is 94 proof. This was $59.99, and I just picked it up today.
Yeah, for some reason I've lost track of my glasses, but obviously it was big numbers. It's 94 proof and finished in toasted barrels. So
interesting.
There's quite a few toasted ryes that I've tasted that I really enjoy.
Michter's Toasted Rye and Penelope's Toasted Rye rank like
ASW Toasted
ASW
Rye also ranks high for me.
Where's Sagamore's Toasted Rye?
Well, that's a good question.
Come on,
Sagamore comes out with some amazing
rye
whiskey and finishes and just wonderful stuff. Do they have one? Because I've never seen it.
Unless they do a toasting process with it, I don't know that they do have one.
Yeah.
Wow. Sagamore, if you're watching, or if somebody wants to clip this and send it to Sagamore, I would love to see a toasted rye.
Right. Well, here's hoping. How much was this? Did you say already?
$59.99. I believe that's maybe the same price, or maybe like $5 more than the toasted bourbon, at least in our area. Keep in mind, prices are going to vary, and I don't know the availability of this one.
Yeah.
I would think because it's a 94 proof rye, that and Elijah Craig having as much capacity as they do, I would imagine that this is somewhat readily available. But
okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, let's check it out.
It's like a if you had I've never had a lamb, like a rack of lamb with like a mint jelly on it.
Okay, sure.
I get a little bit of like a.
Do you order that quite often, or?
I've never had that. No, yeah. I'm not quite at the like ordering chicken tenders level like Kent, but I'm also. Kent's gonna text me and be like,
buttered noodles and chicken tenders. That's good.
The pizza sticks. Yeah.
Mozzarella sticks.
I love you, Kent.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's got some meaty aspects to it and some minty aspects to it, and you know, you kind of connotated it to the
a little bit of a sweetness too, though.
Jelly, but
yeah. So that's maybe where the jelly's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you with the aromas.
It's not super potent either, and I mean it is a low proof. Don't get me wrong. I do get a little bit of a pepperiness to it, but it's not.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's not very effervescent.
I do sense some toastiness in there. I do on the nose, a little bit of marshmallow note or something like that. But it's predominantly rye driven, a lot of herbal notes coming through for me.
For sure. Yep. All right. Good luck, us. I'm not mad about it.
No,
I just really don't get much rye like at all in this.
Really?
I don't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it could be because when I'm drinking a rye, and I'm not saying I drink cask strength rye all the time. Sagamore is one of my go-to. Michter's is one of my go-to, and their stuff's anywhere from like 100 proof to like 110 proof. This is 94, don't get me wrong, but it just drinks a little bit, I don't know, it's mellow for a rye, which I think honestly for this would be a really solid introductory rye for anybody that's looking to get into it. Granted, the price point may be a little bit steep, but the regular Elijah Craig rye, their small batch rye, I was not a fan of. I thought it was lacking.
Well, that's why I probably have a little bit different opinion of yours. I can't say that it ranks in the categories of the whiskeys that we spoke of before, the ASW.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things. It's not that Michter's, but I think it's pretty decent. Probably because I am not the true 100% rye fan that Trenton and Kent is. So I kind of probably enjoy it a little bit more because it is dialed down just a touch.
Yeah.
I still get those herbal notes from the rye. For me, I just wish the toasted notes were amped up.
I agree.
A little bit more.
I agree.
That's all.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like it's just way back in the background.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's on the sideline.
Yep, it's on the sideline. It's there, but to me, I'd like to see it a little bit more richer, a little more flavor in the whiskey.
I need to stop, I think, comparing these directly to different brands because there are different mash bills and there are different processes and there's different yeast strains and there's different this and that, warehouse location, states, all that other good stuff. I will say I do like this.
Okay.
I'm a little bit disappointed just because with when I hear a toasted rye, I think like full flavor, in your face. It's really robust. It's got a very nice, well-rounded type of an aspect to it. Something's just lacking a little bit for me. That's not to say that I wouldn't recommend it. That's not to say that it's bad. I would buy another one of these.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know if I particularly would buy another one.
Ooh, okay.
However, I see it to be pretty decent. The only reason I say I don't know if I'd buy another one because me personally, I don't know if it's really even worth the $60. I know the $59 price mark isn't awful when it comes to finished, because this is basically finished in a toasted barrel. But man, I just really wish I would have got more out of that second barrel.
Yeah.
I really do. I really wish I'd have got more. If I'd have got a little bit more out of that second barrel, I think it'd actually be really good for the price point.
It's interesting because you look at other brands, and I do have to do a little bit of comparison here just in terms of the value. You get a toasted rye for about $60, maybe $65, depending on your area, plus tax and everything. And then you have different players that are doing different things. You got ASW with their toasted, you got Sagamore, you got Michter's, you got a lot of different rye producers. Penelope that's doing really good stuff for maybe a little bit less and also a higher proof point. We can get, at least in our area, the Penelope toasted rye for like $65, $70 for 100 proof. And they are sourcing from MGP, but it's MGP for $70, a toasted MGP. I think it's a 4-year. Fantastic. This is non-age stated. I'd imagine it's anywhere from 4 to 6 years. Okay. I tried to Google it, but I didn't see anything on it. It said likely 4 to 6 years.
Sure.
I do think it's a good attempt. I think this is really solid for a beginner rye person.
Yeah, I do too, and I do like it more.
Yeah.
Than their toasted bourbon.
This is 10 times better than their toasted bourbon.
Yes.
I think, at least.
Yeah, this is something I wouldn't give away if it was in the bar.
Okay.
I would keep it here.
Okay, that's good to know.
So you have that too as well. So 94 proof, it seems like their benchmark proof point.
Yeah, that's kind of their wheelhouse.
Yeah, so that's what they do. But I just wish I would have got more of that little marshmallowy, notes coming through in those toasted notes than I get. That's all.
I agree.
That's all.
I mean, with all that being said, I think if you are somebody that likes ryes, you don't like ryes that are really spicy or like ryes that are really proofy, I honestly don't think you can go wrong with this one. But if you like ryes, if you like more of a Willet, if you like more of an MGP type situation that has a little bit more of a rye kick to it, a little bit more of a mintiness to it, and different citrus type notes, herbs, I don't know this is necessarily a good comparison.
Okay, do this for me. If you can, please, because I'm not the rye guy. And this is education for me. I I do find this to be herbal driven, minus the mint. Not really getting much mint, but it seems like there's a ton of different herbal notes there that is strong and at the forefront, where I would hope to have found the toasted notes to get in there and be more balanced.
Yeah.
What would you determine your strongest tasting notes on this particular whiskey? And again, I'm just looking for education.
I could see like an herbaliness to it, but I can't quite pinpoint exactly what that is.
It's a mix of herbs, but not minty.
No, it's like a mixed green salad.
Sure.
You got some like a little pepperiness, maybe from some arugula. Maybe you got some nice creaminess from a spinach.
Okay, sure. Okay. Well, I know you're kind of half joking there in the end, but I understand where you're spitballing here.
Yeah.
I do, and it's for me. I'm referring to that. I just want to be accurate for everybody out there. I'm referring to that as a lot of herbal notes. And maybe that's not quite correct. That's why I asked.
This is one that I honestly would have to kind of sit down with. And I honestly don't say that a whole lot. But this is kind of a more complex rye.
Yeah.
With it not being so rye forward. It allows other things to kind of shine through in it. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's a good attempt.
All right, buddy.
I just wish there was a little more with the toast, like you said.
Absolutely. No, thank you for that, because that just, honestly, I wasn't trying to trick bag you. It was nothing to do with that.
You probably were, but it's fine.
No, I really wasn't, because rye whiskey is not my claim to fame. I don't really know if I have a claim to fame.
I don't have a claim to fame either.
But, I'm always up for learning, and furthering my whiskey journey.
Yeah.
So for me and for Trenton, it sounds like this is a pretty solid effort. Mm-hmm. The price point really isn't that awful bad. I will actually keep this in the bar if I had one there. And the toasted bourbon, I really wasn't a big fan. I think this is better than that one.
Very good effort.
Personally.
Yeah.
And like Trenton, we just wish that toasted level, some of those good flavor notes you get out of toasted barrels would come through.
Yeah.
That's all. But otherwise, I enjoyed the tasting. I really did.
Yeah. If you have purchased this, let us know what you think of it. Mm-hmm. I feel like this might have been a video that seemed like kind of down, but I do think this was a really solid attempt. I like what they got going on. I will. I'll give this one to you for down here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I love to put out videos to the good folks out there of whiskeys that they can probably attain.
Yeah.
This one might take you a little bit of looking, but you probably can find it. And it's not extremely overpriced.
Yeah.
It's around that $60 price range. So for me, I'm glad we did the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially for those out there that really love rye whiskeys and toasted barrels and all that stuff. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah. Let us know what you think if you got it, or if you're able to find one. Let us know what you think of it if you open it.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's all we got for you today. I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent.
Hey, cheers to keep.
Hey. All right, as always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.